to call the dancers back to the stage, please? Come on, everybody come up. Let's give them a round of applause, guys. Big round of applause to our singer and our fancy dancer, Teddy Bison. Round of applause for Osa, our jingle dress dancer. Rebecca Sanguis, our fancy dancer. And our chicken dancer, Irvin. And our beautiful flute player, Michael. And myself, your hoop dancer. Thank you so much for having us here. We're very happy to be here. And we're going to open up the floor for any questions you might have for any of them. And yes, the women are single. Just kidding. Yes. Do you want to speak for that? Here.
Well, we call this Wapo month. We look at ourselves when we dance sometimes, and that to ricochet that negative energy. It's a long story with that negative energy, but it's kind of like a protection when you dance. I have mirrors all over, and it's not just for a decoration, but for our territory. Hi, hi.
Okay. Hello.
Any other questions out there? Yeah.
Not a question, but I hope you will always be as beautiful as you are just now.
Thank you. Is that it? No more questions? It's your last chance. You're going to see us.
I'm going to ask her.
Unless you come to Italy.
Oh, I'm going to ask quite a hard question. I follow the missing and murdered Indigenous women in Canada, and I also realise there is not enough being done to find out why so many are going missing. Why does the media not cover, your mainstream media, why do they not cover this and let people know what's happening?
Our mainstream media, unfortunately, likes to portray Indigenous people in a very bad light. They often say that our women are going missing because they put themselves in situations that do that, like on the street or alcohol or drugs. But in fact, that's not true. A lot of our women that go missing, it's even now our men and our young boys, our young girls, a lot of Indigenous people are taken. Half of them are never found. And, you know, I would say that this comes from or stems from like racism and just the continued need to destroy our people. Mm-hmm. You know, first it came with the sicknesses, the diseases, and then pushing us off our land, making us live in small sections of land, mm-hmm. and keeping, like taking our children, putting them in residential school, and then taking our language and culture in that sense. Mm-hmm. And I would like to say or add to that me and my husband Michael, we both do film work back home. And 3 years ago we made a feature film called River of Silence. And that film speaks to murdered and missing women. So in that story, it's a story about an Indigenous family living in the city of Vancouver. Their daughter travels home to the reserve to visit her grandmother and never arrives. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to make a film that spoke to the pain that we feel more so than what happens to our people. What does the community do to come through that? And in addition to that, we've been doing a lot more and many other projects to bring light to that, because it's a very important problem that's happening in Canada, and it's not only Canada, it happens in other countries as well. So it's very important to us to make that change from the inside.
Thank you.
If I could add, for those who may have not heard the question, it's bringing up the issue of the disproportionately high number of Indigenous women who go missing and are murdered in Canada and in the US as well. Mm-hmm. And for the last 3 years, the government has been conducting a national inquiry. But I can tell you now in advance, because those results of this inquiry are to be released fairly soon.
June.
But Petey's own grandmother went missing, and her family participated in this inquiry. And, you know, we know this pain firsthand. We probably all know somebody or have a family member who has experienced this. Indigenous women are being targeted because they're vulnerable. Why are they vulnerable? Because we have been disregarded in order to basically relocate us, to take us off our land. We've been subjugated to concentration camps called reservations. So us, for example, where Petey and I come from, we have a territory, a traditional territory that goes from the Rocky Mountains. There's a town called Jasper, you may have heard of. It's a very popular tourist site. That's our southwest edge of our territory. Traditionally, we would hunt and gather from there, hundreds of kilometers to the northeast, because the water flows, we'd follow that in the rivers. And on this end is our lake, over there is the mountains. And everything we needed was provided. And so this is how we lived in complete harmony with the land. But those lands, like everywhere else, really on Mother Earth, have resources that, you know, it's greed. It's greed. It comes down to greed.
Yep.
So we, though, being, you know, like population-wise now, we're 3%. But yet we represent, like, statistically, we are the most likely to be murdered or go missing. And again, it's because of the portrayal that has been brought to us or put on us from day one, and in order to remove us from our land. That's what it boils down to. So I thank you very much for bringing up that question. These are the serious issues that, as much as we love to dance and sing and perform, these are the realities that we also want people to be aware of, because we all have challenges, we all have issues with our governments and our corporations who are the masters of our governments. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Dear friends, I would have two questions. First of all, I want to note how sensationally beautiful, especially the two young women are. That is, of course, could be a target for not good spirits. But first of all, I would like to say that is worth to be protected. But why not also for them to protect themselves? Wouldn't it be an idea among Indian First Nation people to support that women should learn self-defense? The second question is, are you in any way optimistic that you can regain your natural way of living one day?
Just to answer the first question first, we should not have to defend ourselves and walk around with weapons on our own land.
Yeah.
That should not be the
Here,
case.
here.
We need to be teaching, and this is everybody's responsibility. We are here, the spirit of the planet is the spirit of peace and love. And that's the message, that's the way we live. When, sorry, but we call them invaders came, colonizers, immigrants, different names, we welcomed them. We were peaceful, loving people for the most part. Yes, we had warriors to protect, but the level of violence that was brought was unheard of for us. So, yes, it's a way of life, but we all as species, we have to change. We're destroying the very fabric of life. We're destroying our air, our water, things we absolutely need, and we all need to come together, and that's what this is all about. That's why we're so grateful to be here. Now, we are always optimistic. It's I think in every human being's nature to be optimistic that we can live in peace and harmony. We will never go back to living in teepees, most likely, as much as I would like to. I would seriously give up all the roads and cities and so much of the technology, you know, in order to live in peace and harmony with our mother. It would be a much less stressful life. But yeah, so thank you. You're doing it. You really are. By being here, you are helping. Because everybody needs to communicate. And we need to change our minds. We need to understand that we've been programmed for hundreds of thousands of years, whether it's good or bad. But today we have the ability to shift our thinking in powerful, powerful ways so that changes don't need to take generations. We don't have to say, oh no, we messed up, but geez, I hope the next generation fixes it. No, we have to do it now. And we can do things. We can, we can communicate, we can use the tools we have. The technology we have is here to stay. And until something replaces it, let's make the most of it. Social media, whatever. We love our phones, we love to text, we love find a way. That's what our minds are best at, is being creative. We've been doing it since we got here as human beings. So there is a way, we just all have to come together, and this is a good start. So thank you for being here. If there's no more questions, we would like to end our performance with a friendship dance, otherwise also known as a round dance. So please join us if you've done this with us yesterday. If you haven't, please join us.
Yeah, I need to put this off.